Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who is the biggest fan of Darren Elkins. And that is why I'm making this video here separate to talk about his win over TJ Brown and his defining trait overall, which is grit. And grit, as I've said before, you need to have cardio, durability, and heart to even have a shot at having grit. And Darren Elkins has all that shit. And here he showed so again with another third-round victory. This wasn't the biggest comeback. It wasn't a comeback at all, frankly. I thought Darren clearly won round one, and round two was pretty dicey. But whereas most fights between a guy in his late 30s, almost 40, and a guy in his whatever, near 30 years old, or whatever TJ Brown is, the guy that is younger should have been taking over in round three after a competitive round two, but this one went the exact opposite way. Darren Elkins dominated in round three and secured the finish. I don't even know where, the midpoint of round three, but he did so by owning round three, and that's something you could only do with grit. Darren was tested by a guy that I considered to be the more dangerous striker, but also a versatile guy in TJ Brown who's good with the wrestling and the grappling, even off his back, again, as he showed in the Nurbandeke fight. But Darren Elkins is such a strong grappler. He's above, levels above that level of fighting, frankly. And he was able to out-scramble TJ Brown pretty much throughout the whole fight. You know, I don't know, again, round two was pretty dicey, but in the end, he outlasted TJ Brown beyond a doubt and got a third round rear naked choke. This is one of his, I think his third round finish in the UFC. Every one of them in a competitive fight because he's not such a dominant athlete where he's ever really dominating a fight. It was back and forth, and the guy at 39 years old showed he still has every positive trait going for him as a fighter. The negative traits, I'm sure they're creeping up. He's 39 years old, and he's already suffered, again, 4 TKO losses. But the guy is just a machine, where if you don't shut the machine off, he's going to keep going like a machine. And he's a guy you don't want to be standing across from in round three. And he is one of my favorite fighters, regardless of betting. But as far as betting goes, he's still one of my favorite fighters because you can trust his traits. And it's another round three finish for Darren Elkins. And at underdog odds especially, he's just a walking long shot. And the guy fucking makes it much more often than he doesn't at the UFC level, which is extra impressive. So another third round finish for Darren Elkins. This is why he's one of my favorite fighters. This isn't the best fighter he's beaten, TJ Brown. I know you're going to go, who the fuck is he? And he might be out of the UFC before long. He's still got another shot at least. But regardless, it's another gritty effort from Darren Elkins, which shows why he stays afloat. And he's been afloat for 12, 13 years in the UFC, which not a lot of fighters can say. He's a living legend, won't make the Hall of Fame. He probably won't set any records, but he'll be in like third or fourth place for a lot of records. I can tell you he's won as an underdog and won via comeback in more fights than most fighters at the highest level. He might even set some fucking records there, but they don't acknowledge them because who the fuck keeps these stats, and these stats aren't really reliable. What's a comeback? But again, a lot of his decision victories in the first portion of his UFC career are comebacks. He lost round one to Diego Brandao, Hatsuo Hioki, maybe Chas Skelly, this guy, that guy, whatever. But he outlasted all of them. And then lately in the second half of his career, as his skills have sharpened, he's been able to put guys away, secure a lot of second and third round finishes, which is awesome as a bettor. But he's the comeback king, this guy, and he's definitely the king of fucking grit. Darren Elkins, extra special victory. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out all of Darren Elkins' videos on Fight Pass, or whatever the fuck.